Yeah, real good harmony.
Beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the home of the brave.
I like it. It's off.
Okay.
We're back.
It was raw. Yeah, okay. So our next movie is Coherence.
Amir's bringing Laurie to dinner.
Amir's a total jackass.
Everyone else still not have service?
I got 0.
On the news, they're talking about the comet.
Yeah.
Wheeler's comment.
After it passed, people get lost. They would end up in the wrong home. And they keep telling people that this can happen.
The chicken tastes like
All right.
tuna. It must be Miller's Comet. The whole neighborhood is out of power, except for a house about 2 blocks up.
Mike, is that door locked?
I'll check it.
Baby, stay away from the door.
I can't stand this. I'm gonna go see what's
Not
going on. I'm
without
sorry,
the
but I'm
rest
going.
of us.
See that?
Oh my God.
This is bad. This is really
Wait,
bad.
what's the box?
That was at the other house.
Oh my God. Baby, what did you see?
Hugh, what did you see?
We don't even belong here.
Everybody knew about
We
this.
thought
He
you
told
knew.
us.
He told us.
Everybody knew about this except me.
We have to just get through the night, okay?
We are not from his house. We are visitors.
I'm crossing all kinds of boundaries.
I don't want to be stuck here.
What is going on?
It was 2014. It's my movie. Director James Ward, another one of those kind of Swedish names, Burkett, and writer James Ward Burkett. Okay, so Emily Foxler plays M, Maury Sterling plays Kevin, and Nicholas Brendan plays Mike.
I love him.
Oh, you know, I forgot to mention that the movie Hornet's Nest, the one with Gold Dragon 2, it won a Gulbach Award.
What's that?
It got
Swedish
nominated
award?
for BAFTA. I won a BAFTA.
Gulbach, like
I
the
won a
last movie I
BAFTA.
talked about. Anyway, as
Okay.
you were.
Where to begin with this movie?
Yeah, where do you begin?
It's reminiscent of the Twilight Zone. It's that kind of story. I'm sorry, George, I'm taking your point, but I already had that
Okay.
point.
Well, fair on radio.
The story is really interesting. It's I would say a group of yuppies are kind of all getting together for dinner,
Dinners, yeah.
like in Northern California. Probably that's the feel of it, right? West Coast,
The
kind of a
Californians.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A comet is scheduled to pass that evening, and starts out very normal, and then as the evening progresses and the comet is passing, it gets weirder and weirder. It's a really interesting concept of parallel universes, quantum physics. If I had one argument with the movie, it might be the ending, but the ending, if we're going back to Twilight Zone, it would be like I could see this happening in Twilight Zone. That I could see that ending.
But tell the story basically. What happens with the realities?
Oh, that's a
I know,
little,
it's
that's
hard
a
to
little
describe,
hard.
yeah.
That's a little hard.
It's hard to do
A
the
fake
plot.
story.
Well, it's because then all the different realities that these same people are in are realized all together at the same time, and they're kind of getting confused in this of where are they, who's where, you
It
know
takes
what I
them
mean?
all to catch on.
Yeah, and I thought they did that very well. I mean,
Yeah, they did,
I would never have. It would be like it's like the lights are all the lights are out, but the lights at that house aren't out, right? So they go over to that house, and then they come back, and who knows if they're the same people? It's like just really interesting.
It's kind of like they
That's the-
slowly figure out that two of their friends go out to see what, because the lights go out, this comet goes by. But when they come back, there's something off about them. And
Yes.
slowly they begin to figure out why. Why are two friends that came back acting kind of weird?
Right.
Anyway, so.
Yeah. So
without
go
giving too
ahead.
much spoilers.
Yeah, I love this movie. I thought it was great. I thought the concept was great. Yeah, very Twilight Zone-ish
yeah.
in the feel of it.
Right.
I mean, you see in science fiction movies anyway, you'll see duplicates, you'll see, multiples, but it's usually, a robot or a robot of a real person or something,
Right,
like
right.
something like going on. But here, you really, I think they, in a very complicated, it's hard to describe. So in a very complicated storyline, I thought they did a very good job at
Explaining
explaining it.
Well,
Yeah,
I-
they did. I gotta say they did.
I just want to say one thing. That film was made for just over $100,000.
Wow.
It's
I
a
can see
very
that.
it's a very low budget film, and my thing with science fiction now is it's very like visual, like a lot of special effects and stuff. This goes back to more like where you have a great story.
Yeah.
If you have a great story, you do not need a lot of special effects because the
Exactly.
story will carry it.
Yeah,
and which
and
it
this
does
did.
in this
This
movie.
does, yeah,
go
for
ahead.
sure.
Sorry.
No, that's
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
I know
that,
you were.
that the Twilight Zone, but also that it doesn't require a lot of special effects.
No.
It's just a great story. Just this would have been an episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Just the way it was done, and also it kind of shows you also in a way that the depths that some people will go through for a better situation in life. As the movie progresses.
Right.
So and yeah, it's kind of hard to describe, but you pretty much said it. It's a great movie. It's a great story. It's great sci-fi. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's interesting. I wouldn't watch this movie twice, which always tells me, like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I must have seen 15 times, and I could watch it tonight. But this movie I would not see twice. And yet it was well written. Love the plot of it. Love how it interacted. But I found it boring. Like, from the beginning, it was fine. To the end was fine. But the middle was boring. And so, even though I appreciate the writing and how the actors did it, I found it very boring.
Well, you know what? If it would have been a Twilight Zone, it would not.
Twilight Zone would have been exciting.
It would not have been that long.
It would have been, it seemed too long.
You
for
know what I
it was
mean?
doing.
It would have been a shorter.
That kind
thing.
of movie cannot be too long.
But also,
yeah.
also I think what I found it boring too was because most of the movie is this dinner party. And what do you do at dinner party? We're just talking about, I went camping, I went with this,
Right.
this. So it's basically like dinner party. The movie's a dinner party and like all dinner parties. So
And going
it'd
in
be
and out, in and out, in and out.
So that can get a little boring because everybody's talking about their lives and the things that they do. So that's why you might have found it a little.
Well, I would watch it again because I found it interesting to do. Like, it took me a while to figure out what's going on. I mean, I knew something was going on, but I didn't know what. But how they were figuring it out, it's like
Yeah, it's a story they figured out.
Yeah, how they figured it out. I would like to go back, like in Usual Suspects, to see if it makes
like
sense.
a great scene where the guy's writing a note. Let's write this note and leave it on the door of the other house. And when they open their door to leave, the note is already on there front door, the same note. So they got this really weird.
Yeah.
See, the Usual Suspect, sorry, George.
Oh, go ahead.
Usual Suspect is it was a very complex thing, but they did it so it was like I'd watch Usual Suspect again. And it was compact.
Well, I wasn't comparing it to it. I was
No,
comparing
I
that.
just did, 'cause I didn't have a reference.
comparing that. I had to watch that again to see if
How they pull it off.
how
Usual
did that
Suspect?
make yes.
Oh.
Just to see if that all made sense. In other words,
Kinda
they
like The
were
Sixth Sense.
yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yes.
The movies
I
that
thought those two were so compact. It was a movie I went to watch
but it had
again because I liked it, not
they all
because I had to figure it
Well,
out.
they had a surprise ending. They had a turn ending, and so you had to see if they carried that. You know what I mean?
If it
Did
made
they,
sense.
Like how
in,
it
the,
felt.
Yeah, if it
in
makes
the
sense.
movie.
When you watch the movie, you go,
because
oh, yeah, that makes
I
sense.
wasn't
That makes sense,
expecting
you know.
that. I wasn't
See,
expecting that.
Bruce Willis not there.
With Usual Suspect and Sixth Sense, I didn't have to watch it twice for that because I got it. This movie,
Well, I
just
got
the-
it. I want to see if they get.
How they pulled it off.
They
yeah,
executed
but I'm
it.
saying even for that, I was getting it. It was making sense. But I thought this one was too long because they could have cut it. They could have made it like 45 minutes
there's
shorter.
no
and it would have been more intense and exciting.
Well, there's
I thought
no
that.
action in the movie. It's all dialogue.
It's all
you know,
dialogue.
It
That's
reminded me a bit
okay.
of. It reminded me a bit of the Perfect Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, that
It's
was
just
a great
where it just
movie.
takes place in this house and just
Yeah.
everything is just done in this house.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like the fact that you really didn't know who you were watching until you saw the glow sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like until you saw like that, and then there was a green one floating in the round somewhere at the
Yeah.
end. You're like, wait, what house is
And
that?
I like the
now?
ending. I like the
and
ending.
also
you
how
know?
two people cannot
I
occupy the
wouldn't
same
watch it, yeah.
universe, different
At the
parallel
same time,
universe
right.
at the same time.
But I wouldn't watch it again because that 45 minutes that's in there, that shouldn't be in there, is still in
Which
there.
tells the entire
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Okay, so
I know. I don't know how you do that.
I'm gonna give it Sean. Sean. Oh,
Rating?
Rate-
Oh,
Yeah.
to rate?
Yeah.
An 8.
George.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9.
I give it an 8. That's good.
I'll give it an 8 too.
Yeah.
It was a very low budget film. Somebody was saying if Quentin Tarantino would have
Oh,
done
really?
it, it would be a
Now
different
that would
movie.
be interesting. Or Rod Sterling.
or Spielberg or somebody like that. But it was like I
No,
said,
you
it's-
know what? It was more like I'm gonna call him Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yes,
What's
yes,
his
yes,
face?
yes.
M. Night
M. Night
Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan.
For those who don't know the term for him.
But
Speaking
this,
of Sixth
this
Sense.
didn't have it was more of a quantum
Yeah, it's
physics
some
type
little
of
science
thing.
science behind it.
It was
yeah.
like real science, you know,
Yeah.
like
There was some meat
yeah.
And they
behind
took
it.
their time to explain so you didn't get lost because it was so easy to get lost. And they did that well. But it took too friggin' long.
Okay, so that
All right.
ends our second movie.
We'll be back.
Okay.